Hello, everyone. It's Anastasha Grace here with the show Twin Flames, Power Couples and Relationships. We are going to go every Wednesday. If you are in Australia, it's Wednesday, 5 p.m. for Queensland and 6 p.m. for New South Wales. And it's my first show. It's my first time here on Spiritual Events Directory. Please bear with me. I am going to be making sure that you can see me, you can hear me, join me. Please let me know. Hey, Janita, please let me know if you can hear me well. I am adjusting my technology that it is all working well. I will be seeing your comments, your questions. Hi, Shakti. Hello again. Thank you so much for joining me again. We are going to have wonderful conversations, wonderful. The subject of, sound is perfect, thank you, Shakti. The subject of relationships, it's a huge, deep, amazing subject. So we are going to be unfolding this conversation as weeks go by. Please do feel free to post your questions. Message me, and I will be answering them. And at some point, I will be offering things like clearing, like channelings, and like giving you answers to your particular situation in life. Because twin flame journey, it is a spiritual journey more than anything. And if you're here and you're watching this, it means that you are on your journey. It means that you are actually, well ahead a huge percentage of population. Because if you look back on the history of humanity, you will notice that unions and marriages and couples were created for survival purpose. However, we are moving into this whole new area of life where twin flames is a spiritual union. It's a journey back to source and to the divinity. And power couples, the couples are the ones that live for the higher purpose together, not for the survival purposes anymore, but for something much bigger than themselves. And I will be sharing my story. I am in a twin couple relationship. Relationships is something I have been studying and working with for many years now, and I will share my story, my background. And feel free to ask me any questions. I will share my journey with my experience with that. So for those who just joined, my name is Anastasha Grace. I am a healer, practitioner, channeler, Akashic Records practitioner. I work with different modalities for many years now. My focus was a lot on healing traumas. I have gone through my deep and big journey of my own healing, and I have been a practitioner for a number of years now, dealing with all kinds of life situations for my dear clients, from being deeply depressed and on antidepressants for 25 years, coming into the beautiful aliveness and fully self-expression, healing deepest heart wounds, and opening up from moving from abusive marriage and to finding the twin flame relationship. That's I have a few couples actually that worked with me, like a few people that worked with me and have then ended up in the twin flame relationship as the soul Soul journey. Oh, Mariel's asking, can you read me? My marriage is not doing good. Yeah, so for cases like that, very individual cases, the way I work is I will probably later on in my show, I will be picking a few people that I can bring on camera, and I can work, and then I can specifically work on your issue. Today we are going to be more talking about in general. I'll give you a little bit of a overview and introduction to the subject and what's possible. What is this journey with our relationships, right? Myself, I do also, apart from being a channeler and having psychic abilities, I do receive messages, I do, journeying and medicine, and receive my information from different sources. So I will be sharing what I know, what I have learned, what I have experienced, what has been shown to me. And the main thing that I would like to start with is that relationships and marriages and unions, it is the spiritual journey. It is a coming together to find that place of source and place of connection. We live in a duality, we live in a dual world, and this planet has been created in a way that the masculine and the feminine joins together. So any kind of connection that you bring in this world, it is a spiritual journey. It is an awakening of your spirit. It is an experience that your soul has created. If you are in a place of, I don't want any relationship whatsoever, like I'm done, I am too hurt, then you are still in the place of hurt and pain and disconnection. Even just coming to that realization that I do want a relationship, I do want a partner, or do want to be in that collaboration, in the union, to be joined in, that is the journey of expansion. It means that you are coming to the place where you have healed some of them, maybe most of them, maybe a lot of them, maybe all of your wounds. Whatever you have healed, few things are going to be triggered. I will cover in the twin flame conversation as well, is that twin flame relationship is not what you think it is. It's been romanticized a lot. A lot of time in our life, love is being romanticized. It's like, oh, because if it's love, then it's all wonderful. And quite often we forget that love is actually a journey, right? Is journey to yourself, and also expanding from self outwards and connecting to the ones that are near us, and then expanding further and connecting to the community. And the more you love you can hold, the more you can expand, the more things you can hold, the higher your level of consciousness. It's like the integration happens gradually, or it could be some event that will burst your awakening, your expansion, and then you can hold more. Part of this, part of this conversation that we are going to have about power couples. Power couples is, in my definition, and what I work with clients, is a union where both people are empowered and both are on the journey of growing, developing, evolving, having business together, if that's part of your journey, or both being on the purpose, both being on the mission, and at the same time keeping that connection, keeping that beautiful intimacy, and being connected across all chakras. How often do we see relationships that the couple becomes connected through the business, and they become really good partners, and their communication is great, they become friends, but then sexual part of the relationship falls off, and there is no sex for sometimes for years. I had a client who haven't they didn't have any sexual relationship with her husband for 5 years. However, staying great friends and great family, raising children, and that is not a power couple in my definition, because being fully activated in all of your chakras, it means being activated in your sexuality and having this connection, being activated in your heart and having a heart connection, being activated in your self-expression and have the great communication between you two, being activated in your mind, and you exchanging the visions, having third eye chakra activated for both of you, where you do have a joint, a common vision, and you are ready and willing to move forward together, aligned, and realigning yourself again and again, because it is a constant process. It's not something that can happen once. It's like, okay, we have met, off we go. Everything from here on is going to be great. It's the journey of connection and reconnection every single day, every single moment, every single hour. It is a commitment to yourself, commitment to your growth, commitment to your heart, commitment to another person, commitment to your soul, and commitment to the divine, because our souls, and we are guided into relationships by our souls, and twin flame is that the case, is exactly the case when we are guided into the spiritual journey with another human being. So let's talk about twin flames. Let's talk about what is it, and why did I say it's not something you would expect. Twin flame is incredible magnetic connection that is unexplainable and sometimes undescribable. When I have first experienced it, my first question was, when I first met this man and we touched, my first question that uncontrollably came out of my mouth was, who are you? I couldn't put it into words. I could not explain. We hear a lot of these terms like, oh, soulmate, soul connection, magnet, but that was beyond any kind of words that I've known. It's nothing that I could explain with words, only with an incredible feeling that there's something beyond me. In that moment, I have very clearly realized that there's a little human here, and with a human heart, and there's a human attraction, which is physical, which is that animal attraction. But also, when I come across this person, there's another human being, this man, there's something well beyond me, and I don't know what is, and I can't explain it. I can put labels on it, but even labels are not really describing it well. Something you need to know is that a person that you have such a magnetic attraction, such a connection with, will trigger all of your traumas, all of your wounds, all of your insecurities, everything that hasn't been healed before will come out on the surface for you to look at it, to acknowledge it, and to heal it. Also, even if it's a twin flame or soulmate relationships, we are not, we are not protected from the clashes of personalities. We are like multi-layered beings. We have personalities, we have identities, we have programs in us, unconscious programs, and part of the work that I do, it is the unconscious programming, or removing, uncovering them, realizing them, making them obvious so they can disappear, so we can clear them. Unconscious programming is still there, and when you come across even most beautiful and divine connection and divine pool, it's like, that's how I would describe it. If you are looking for signs to recognize those connections in your life that are meaningful, that have somehow been placed in your life, in your field before by your soul, look for the feeling of this incredible pull. It's like a magnet. It's just, once you located that person, you will somehow energetically always know where they are. No matter how many kilometers between you, no matter how much distances between you or years go by, you will be able to locate them energetically with some other senses, not just our five senses, some sixth sense, or something beyond you. That's how I would describe my feelings. You will have this energetic connection, and that an energetic pull on the distance. Sometimes in our lives we are not ready to meet a twin flame, and that's when the persona, that's when the identity and your belief systems are way too rigid and way too fixed, and they haven't been yet shaken up by your soul frequency. They haven't been lifted up yet, because any kind of relationship, divine relationship, deep relationships, especially twin flames, require surrendering. It requires the place of, I am willing to learn. What is my lesson? I am willing to go through difficult moments and difficult times, because your persona, your beliefs are going to be triggered. Your shadow will come up, and you will see the shadow of another person, and that's where this rigid pride or defensiveness or the barriers or entitlement or any kind of those emotions, they have to drop. They have to be dissolved, and it's a work. It's that inner work. It's an inner process. Surrender, vulnerability, they're not easy, to drop into. We are so wired for survival with such intensity that vulnerability in the place of that softness and intimacy and allowing. It requires deep soul work. It comes from the inside. It comes from the conversation between you and your soul, where, and I had them in the beginning. I do have tools to connect to myself and know the truth. I do use like things like self-testing, muscle testing. I use channeling. I use Akashic records for myself, and as being a regressionist, I do regressions into past lives and between lives. Between lives regression is that when we meet our masters, teachers, we go back to where we come from, and we go back to the source where the soul was born, and in that moment we are able to ask questions and answer them and receive the answers from within ourselves. So I had those tools to help me navigate in my journey. And still, it was not the easy one when I met my partner, my twin flame, that I have been in relationship and a sacred marriage now for 5 years. The question is, do I do regression online? I can take a person through the regression over Zoom. Yes, it's possible. It's, like any hypnosis, as long as we have internet connections, you can hear me, I can see you, so I can follow a person's journey and we speak. And you speak under hypnosis, under the regression. You see things, I can see what you see. And you also answer questions, you share, you speak what you see. It's incredible process, and you can get all of your questions answered. You can come with a list of 20 questions and 30 questions and find out where did you come from, what is your essence, what planet you're from, if you believe in that, whatever your belief system is, why, what's your purpose, why are you here, what is your essence, what are you great at, why certain events in your life happen the way they happen, why do you meet this person or this person. You can get all of your questions answered, and I am the person who always have a lot of questions. I always had a lot of questions. First, I remember myself like from the age of 8 asking and seeing that this 3D reality is not making any sense. It just doesn't make sense. Rules what? We live like this? Why? It doesn't make any sense. What is behind the veil? What has created? Like, if you've seen the movie Matrix, is that sense of that there's something underneath, behind it, creating the picture. Like, I had that from the age of 8, and my only desire in life, or only purpose in life, was to look behind the veil and understand how this world operates. And my teaching is that masculine and the feminine energy on this planet, that's the essence of our Mother Earth. That's the essence of this planet. So the unions are so incredibly important, not just for the development of your soul, of who you are, but also for development of the humanity and a life on this planet overall. Because from that union, everything gets born. That orgasmic energy that is created when masculine and feminine comes together, that's the essence of God. That's the God molecular, the orgasm, this incredible boom, big bang. That's the essence of the universe, and we get to experience it every single day in our union, when our hearts and bodies and souls merge in that incredible, delicious experience, orgasmicness. That's when we feel that we are all, that we are one. We are more than just this body or this persona or this identity or this human. Incredible. I absolutely love this subject and this journey. Absolutely love, and I'm so grateful for this life to be the way it is, for these experiences that we can have with another human being and through another human being, and how we can experience ourselves of being outside of our body with someone else. And being with a twin flame is like having a constant mirror. It's like this mirror, it looks similar but different. It's like opposite, but it's not. It's the same, but it's not. And it's incredible feeling of experiencing yourself in another person, at the same time having, you know, yeah, like a twin soul, and it's not at the same time, right? The feeling of traveling through time and space together, it's ever present in this kind of connections, in this kind of relationships. Existing outside of time and space continuum, that's the constant experience. The feeling of coming home, being at home, anywhere, at any time, that's the experience. And I guess that's why the subject of a twin flame is so popular, or so, you know, so captivating. So many people are completely mesmerized by the subject. It is not a common occurrence. It is fairly rare, and it requires a certain journey to arrive to that place when you join in that union. And if you are to take out the most important thing from this conversation, is that a place of surrender, the feeling of surrender, the feeling of or willingness to go through whatever there is. That's the pathway. That's the entry point into coming, into joining yourself in the relationship. In my story, so going back to the conversation, when I first met him, and it was very triggering. It was very triggering. So I was using all of my tools and all of my knowledge to understand how it can be so excruciatingly painful and so so unbearably pulling me in. Oh, Shakti can relate to everything you said. This is incredible. I'm so happy. If you are experiencing this, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. I wish everyone on this planet, and that's part of my mission, part of my journey of helping the relationships, helping people to come to the place of love, helping people to come to the place of that readiness to attract beautiful love into their life, because we are the only obstacle. Truly, if you think you haven't found the one or haven't attracted, and it's somehow, universe is just getting ready or bringing that person to you, or it just needs time, it only needs time because you are not ready. It only needs time because you still have something to let go of, or to heal your heart, or um, to open your heart or heal your wounds. That would be the only reason why you're not with the person that you would love to be with, or you're not feeling at home with a partner, with your partner. I'm just going to take a sip. Um, yeah, so feeling of coming home, and that feeling of the soul resting, soul coming back home. Because many of us do not feel on the planet Earth as being home. And because majority of our souls have been born on different planets. And you might not believe that, or you might believe in reincarnation, or you might not. However, I will be sharing my knowledge, what I know, and what I've been taught, and what I've seen, and the messages that I have received. And whatever your beliefs are, the essence of all the beliefs of all of the religions, it is coming back to the divine. It is coming back to the source. It is coming back to love. And what is the best way to come to love but the love with another person, isn't it? Where love is reflected back to you. You're not just emanating love into the world, but it's actually mirrored back to you at the same time, providing you with that nourishment of the physical connection, of that beauty of safety and nurturing and loving you and accepting you and supporting you and hearing you. It's a beautiful place to be in. And every human being deserves that. Every human being can have access to it and should have access to it, right? Send me some love hearts if you agree that every human being on this planet deserves to be loved, deserves to be nurtured, deserves to be kept safe, deserves to be nourished and protected, and deserves to be seen and heard, and deserves that connection, because the connection, love and connection, is one of our main human needs as a human, and it is an essence of our soul at the same time. So that's the place where we feel most comfortable and most at home, in the place of love. However, the life gets busy. The priorities of this life sometimes are all twisted in a way that money or survival or status or, material things or some other things that are not of such importance, they become important. However, think about this. We are wired for love in all aspects ourselves. Soul being the vibration of joy and love, and our physical body needing love. There is you might have heard about the experiment with little babies, the orphans that were born, and they divided them into groups. Babies that were orphans were touched and caressed and picked up by nurses in the first months of their life, and there was some babies that were not touched and attended, but they were fed and they were they were warm, they were looked after, but they were not touched and caressed and hugged and picked up. And those babies have died because our physical body is wired for the touch. Like our senses, our skin is created and wired for being nurtured, for being held, for that warmth, for the hug of another human being. Our ego, our persona, our psyche as a human is also wired for love, because that's one of our human needs, to be part of the social, to be part of society, be part of the tribe. And it is wired as for survival as well, to be part of the tribe, to be accepted, to be loved. So love is our natural state, and it's not just a necessity. Hey, Journey. For the reading I will be doing in my future live streams, for sure, and I will be bringing people on camera so we can have a deeper reading. It will require a little bit of time, and today as this being a first show, I would love to give you an introduction first, and the like the subject, to cover kind of main aspects of the subject, and then we can go deeper into discovery of the journey of being a couple, creating a magnificent partnerships, creating magnificent relationships, and also knowing how to identify a twin flame, or how to speed up the process of connecting to your twin flame, how to heal yourself from the past wounds, from the past hurts, so you become open, because open heart is number one requirement for that connection to be, for that beautiful love to come into your space. Unless you heal, unless your heart is open, you will be attracting people as wounded as you are, and you are going to be on the same level. You will be staying on the same level until you are ready to let go of the past, let go of the wounds, let go of the hurt, let go of the expectations, and move to the next level. And depends on what level there is. You might find a person who is less wounded, or it just meets you on that level, or you can jump straight to the place of meeting that one, the one. In my case, it was a really speedy, fast jump. I have taken a couple of years to heal and recover from my first marriage. My first marriage was, I was married for 15 years, and it ended up in the divorce. I got married at 21. I was sure that I'm going to live my whole life with this person, and it was very normal, very traditional, very standard type of relationship. There was a lot of love. We fell in love. We were young. We were excited, and we just, like, oh my God, I love you. You love me. Let's get married. Of course, let's get married. Let's do this. And then, well, we are married, and look, we have home. Let's have children. Yes, of course, let's have children. And that kind of it went until to the point where I've discovered that we have no common interests, that something that interests me completely annoys and irritates him. My views, not so much even views, but my visions of my future, my purpose and this life were completely, he completely dismissed them. We were like different on different planets, and not from good ones. There was a lot of like criticism and pushing down and competition, and just a lot of viciousness. And uh, I was always shocked by this. I was always shocked by this situations where it become vicious, because in my view of the world, relationships, marriages should be the most delightful and the safest place to be, and most incredible experience. How could this happen, that a person that I've chosen to be my partner, all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, just it never happens all of a sudden, right? There are always clues, and there is always things kind of happening, but it's just like that frog that sits in a warm water until it goes to boil. You don't notice until it's boiling hot, and then it becomes unbearable, and that's when couples fall apart, isn't it? Yeah, and Mariel's says it happens with my husband. Yeah, so we definitely can dive into that in our next session and conversation. I think it would be actually useful and helpful to many couples out there, or to many people out there. I believe there's not enough education about relationships, about masculine and the feminine, about the energetics of it, about just the basics of psychology and behavioral studies, and not enough information for us to create those healthy relationships that would be empowering and supporting each other, rather than continuously tearing each other apart. So eventually my marriage has ended, and I took few years to heal and recover and explore. I was back on the dating game at the age of 36. It was a very interesting experience. And what happened, what was interesting, when I said my progress went from here to here, after I've done all the healing and all the dating and all the exploration from tantra to like open relationships, to polyamory, to psychology of dating, psychology of marriage, of gender communication. I've learned all of this. I went through all the healing modalities. I worked so much on myself. I have explored so much. I was eventually ready, and in my mind, I was ready. I was like, okay, I'm ready for the relationship. I'm ready to meet my true love. I'm now ready to meet my partner, someone who matches me, someone who I am going to have an incredible life with. And I can fully show myself and fully explore this life with my true soulmate. And months were going by, and he was not anywhere to be seen. And I did a lot of inquiry into this. It happened like that. After I have opened my heart. And I have realized how shut my heart was, despite of all the work I've done, despite of all the healing and all the clearings, and I have gone through every modality on this on this planet. You can name a modality, and I will tell you that, yeah, I know it. I'm either trained in it, or I use it in my work, or I've done the healing using that modality. I've tried everything. I just love that. I live it's my life. I'm not interested in anything else but human psychology, us as a spiritual beings, us as a physical beings, us as in these wicked creatures that are driven by so many things, by energetics, by the soul, by our mission, by our purpose, by our sexuality. We're constantly either torn apart by all those pieces of us and all those aspects. We're so multifaceted. We're so incredibly holographic, and we have everything in us. We have this, scared little animal. At the same time, we have this most incredible, magnificent part of us, which is completely divine. So many of us carry alien codes as well. Anyway, humans are incredibly fascinating. And I was sure that I've done all the healing there is, and I'm ready, until the point where I cracked my heart open in a way that I have never cracked it open before. I was on the floor screaming from pain, praying and crying to God, the universe, divine, to my soul, to the Mother Earth, to everyone and everything that could listen and hear me. And I was asking for this force to open my heart. And the way it felt is like my spine was coming, like opening up like a turtle shell. It was just cracking open. And if you're asking why on the back, because on the back we have our spiritual heart. Here at the front we have our human and emotional heart that are very much, we are scared of hurting, and when we say, oh, my heart is broken, that's the physical reaction. That's the actual chemical reaction in our physical heart. Our spiritual heart and our divine connection is at the back of the heart. And usually, if you notice yourself shutting down, if you're really hurt or you're really in stressful situation, you will have a lot of tension at the back of your heart, across the shoulder blades, and you will feel like a heavy panel, like a break at the back of your heart. That's your spiritual heart. That's your divine connection. That's the entry point to the sacred space of your heart. So I was praying and crying and asking for my heart to be cracked open, and I was surrendering. Why did I say in the beginning of this talk, in this conversation, a surrender? Because at some point you would need to place your identity, your expectations, your fears, all of that, what human being runs on in our psyche, you would have to put it on the altar of your spiritual development, of your spiritual opening, and getting yourself cracked open. Within 2 months of that opening, I have met my twin flame. It took only 2 months. And the jump in the awareness, in the evolution of my being was immense. It was a whole new level. It was a completely different level of connection and a completely different level of relationship and me experiencing myself. It's nothing like I have ever experienced before. it's a whole new responsibility, because when you do connect on such a spiritual level, when you connect with your twin flame, you come together to fulfill a certain purpose. What's the difference between just normal relationships and twin flame relationships? Twin flames come together for the good of the humanity, for the good of all, for the good of the energy and the vibration on this planet, and not just on this planet, but as on a soul level in general. It spills out to other dimensions. That's how I would explain it. That connection of the twin flame, that merger, it spills out not only across your spectrum of your soul in time and space, as in time and space does not exist, but into the future and into the past, and your expression of your soul as it is everywhere on all of your dimensions. So it is a responsibility. It is a responsibility, and you feel as, okay, I cannot play small anymore in here. I actually need to take responsibility for for my feelings and emotions, because they will pop up. Your survival, or your desire to protect yourself, desire to run away, desire to escape, this massive, incredible energy and opening, those thoughts will pop up. And it is your job to continue the journey. It is your job to continue evolution. It is your journey to keep surrendering and keep opening heart and keep trusting and keep forgiving. And you would need to forgive again and again and again and again, thousands times over. Forgive yourself, forgive your partner, forgive everyone around you, because that's the journey, that's the path of surrendering, and the path of the spiritual journey. Okay, we have only a couple of minutes left. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I will go through the comments, and I am open to any kind of questions that you might have. I will be taking in our next conversations in next show. There will be a possibility as well to jump on a call, especially once we kind of cover the subject more in depth. You can find me on Anastasha Grace Coaching Facebook page, or anastashagrace.com. That's my website page. Anastasha Grace, it's my Instagram. And sometimes I do offer free Akashic readings, complimentary, but majority of my work is actually working with those programs, with releasing the past, releasing the traumas, releasing the wounds of the past, the wounds of rejection, abandonment, betrayal, humiliation, injustice. Those are 5 core wounds. Hey, Katrina, exactly what I needed to hear. I'm so glad that you got some great realizations out of that. Yes, we do sometimes need to hear, especially the subject of surrender. I have been shown it and taught that many times, and it was not easy to come for me to do that, as being a strong person, being a very driven and very determined person. Surrender is not something that it comes naturally. So please find me on social media, connect with me, ask me any questions to test into your particular situations. I would need to connect and dive in deeper. It is not as just simple as, and I never like giving just surface answers. I do like diving deep, and usually it is quite deep in the unconscious mind. Those wounds or traumas, the 5 core wounds we all carry, and they can be healed very fairly easily. It brings incredible results when we heal those wounds. I remove heart wall to open the heart, to open the energetics, to increase the wavelength of the heart, so you can emanate and exchange with the universe much freer after those healings. I do inner child work, shadow work, in using different modalities like timeline therapy and reprogramming your beliefs and opening you to that new stage in your life when you can attract and you are open and you are ready for those magnificent experiences and magnificent love. So yes, beautiful Shakti, it's my website is anastashagrace.com. And my Facebook page is Anastasha Grace Healing. Please do find me. Yeah, it seems like we do have a beautiful connection and similar journeys. It's incredible. I absolutely love finding, connections throughout the world as well. And that's all I've got to say for today. I will see you next week, every Wednesday, same time, 5 p.m. Queensland if you're in Australia, 6 p.m. New South Wales, or anywhere where you're in the world, same time. I will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day and amazing week. Bye.